episode.
Alright, so we're being recorded right now.
Hey, what's going on there, YouTube?
What's
this
up,
is SEL0320.
This is Joe Johnson 030. And we're recording from my iPhone 6 regular, not the Plus. The
this
regular.
is not advertising. I'm sorry, y'all. This is going to be our fully featured in-car, on-the-move spoiler review for Arrow. The new episode following off what happened in the last episode, which we know that the Arrow or Oliver became Sah-Him, and that means Arrow. And he's basically, in the beginning of this whole episode, I mean, he got purged of everything that we know of him to be. He's basically being tortured, given hallucinogenic drugs to make him believe what he was going through was associated with the people that he cared about. Like, especially when he thought that he had killed Diggle, there was nothing about him that I could recognize. But to be quite honest, though, what I love about this show is the fact that in the first 3 episodes, when Oliver came back, he was the same exact way. He had a drive for justice based on a small book, but he had a willingness to kill anybody really that was in his path. And at this point now, like, he is sharpened in his skills. Like, I was looking at some of the people that he was cutting down, and the way he was training with Roz, I was like, this joint is going down. And Roz told him that he had to go back and deter the person that wanted to be the classified heir. And so I was like, I knew it was Nyssa, but I did not know. When they had that first confrontation, that Arrow was literally, I mean, he could take on the whole team if he really wanted to. What were your thoughts, though, Joe? I love this episode, quite honestly.
I had a lot of thoughts on this episode. I had a couple of predictions. Well, not a couple of predictions, but I had some questions rose up in me, like, what if Oliver, what if Oliver actually went out with Ra's al Ghul's daughter? That thought crossed my mind, like, really? While I was watching the show. But anyway,
that shocked me, y'all. I didn't expect that at all.
I didn't expect it. But thought crossed my mind,
and
I'm like, maybe because I was attracted to her myself. Probably that's probably why.
It all comes out. You supposed to be about that Irish life, man. How you gonna be on this?
I mean, she's attractive. Both of them are attractive.
I'm a white woman, man. I'm Felicity all the way. Y'all heard that?
The thought crossed my mind.
All the way.
The thought crossed my mind. And it ended up happening. So I was like, wow. I didn't think they were gonna actually do it, but like, the thought crossed my mind, and that shocked me probably the most.
But you gotta describe how it happened, though, man, because
they kind of just put it on us.
No, I mean, they did, but they didn't. Like, the whole point of him even going back was to take her out from just being like a disgrace.
Take her out on a date.
Shut up, JK. At any rate, Oliver, his whole purpose was to go and take her out. And Oliver was about to kill her. He was about to straight up end her, you know? And she was like ready to meet her maker the whole episode. She was like, look, y'all don't understand what this man has gone through. Like, he has the ability to kill me. I was like, yeah. I mean, especially when they started fighting, and they had that pretty cool scene where, like, Diggle was facing off against Oliver, and, like, Laurel's getting beat down just like she normally is, and Nyssa's trying to basically try to survive. And the fight between him and Diggle, I was like, wow. The only thing that really stopped it was Thea. And I knew when she was talking to Malcolm that, like, she was gonna really intervene, because she's the only person that could really get up in Oliver's face and he'd take it. And he did. Like, all honesty, even though she threatened him with an arrow, like, he believed that she loves him enough that she will kill him. And I think that's the reason why he left. But, I mean, when he went back with Nyssa to kill her, and then all of a sudden, like, Roz was like, oh, I'm looking for the device. You know, I was kind of like, what is he talking about? And then he pulled his vial out of her sword, and come to find out, these flashbacks we've been talking about, it's all about the Alpha and Omega like virus, the retro virus that killed most of the people in the flashback. Yeah. And I mean, people were just dying left and right. And then the other thing, freaking what's the name's son at the end was bleeding. I was like, they gave him the vaccine. How is he dying? You know?
There's no vaccine.
So I can't even believe what's gonna happen in the next episode. But the fact that Rouse was like, nah, we prematured this a little bit. Like, I have a better option with this. Like, I can't remember the exact phrasing. I have it written down. I'm kind of driving at the same time, so I can't really say. But the way he turned it on him, like, two different things sparked up in Oliver's eyes. One is the fact that he's denying him one woman and giving him another. Two, like, he birthed him into something to kill and stop him. And now this virus that he's seen millions of people get hurt or killed from, and now he's gonna have to unleash that on his city. So the woman that he loves and the city that he loves are gonna be the things that he's gonna have to sacrifice. I looked in his eyes. That was the only time I seen Oliver flinch the whole episode. I was like, you've been better off telling him to kill Felicity or telling him to go and kill Diggle. But to take the virus and expose that onto the city and then keep Nyssa alive, supposedly, to marry her? To produce another heir? Oh, heck no. Oliver ain't never sacrificed anything for the one he loves. I mean, he technically does, but not loving them. So for him to be forced to love in order to save or be this heir, it just defeats everything about him. And I know by the end of the season finale, like, Oliver's gonna have to make a serious choice. I just don't know how it's honestly gonna end, quite honestly.
Camera shake.
It's gonna be a confrontation between him and Rise. But the thing is, like, Rise is making him into a living weapon. Like, he's gonna be able to take Rise out before it's over with. He really is. But what are your thoughts, man? What's your final thoughts? I don't really have anything more because it was a really great episode. I get an episode 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It surprised me just how dead inside that Oliver is. But more than anything, I think that his whole team is emotionally just destroyed from what's being happened. Because I saw Diggle's reaction after he got his wife taken and had the baby still in the cart. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, Diggle was pissed. I thought he was gonna kill Nyssa right then and there. But it was a really good episode. Really well acted. Really simple moments. Yeah, like, there's so many I can't even really count. What about you, Joe? What's your final thoughts on it?
One thing that's good the show does is take out the central character, which is Oliver Queen, and have the other characters rise to a higher caliber of leadership.
Yeah.
And that's what they do well, I think, in the show, and that separates them from any other show. Because it's not just solely tied around Oliver in this performance or him just being a hero. Really, everybody else has to step up.
Yeah.
I relate that. But yeah, I give this episode 10.
Yeah. My final thoughts is, I was telling Joe, I was like, one thing about this show that differentiates between Gotham and Justice League cartoons, or even like Flash, when I think about those, I think, okay, Bruce Wayne is really Batman, you know? Or I think that the Flash, like Barry Allen, is really the Flash. Like, that's what I call him by name base. That's the first thing that pops in my mind. That's what these people are. But when I think about the show, the name of the show is Arrow, I don't think of Oliver as the Green Arrow. I don't think of him as the Arrow. I think of him, this is Oliver Queen. This is a dude that his name has precedent over what he is becoming. And that speaks volumes. Like, even when I think of Bruce Wayne, like, I think that Bruce Wayne really is Batman. That's just who he is singularly. But Oliver Queen is somebody that I didn't expect to go with this much weight behind his name. And that's what this show exploits on a deeper level. And I love the show. I love the show. And that's my final thoughts on it, y'all. You done, Joe? All right, man. This is SCL0320 signing out.
All right, y'all heard it here first. So subscribe.
We getting some noodles and company. Sorry.
That's crazy.